Continuation of the first lecture of thermodynamics. Today we are going to discuss about the laws of thermodynamics. And there are four laws of thermodynamics. And the first one is zeroth law of thermodynamics. Zeroth law of thermodynamics. And this law shows the conservation of temperature. This law shows the conservation of temperature, and it states that if two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with a third body, then they must be in thermal equilibrium with each other also. If two bodies are in thermal equilibrium with a third body, then they must be in thermal equilibrium with each other also. And with the help of this, we can find out the temperature of any unknown body. And the next one is very important one, and that is known as conservation law of energy. Conservation law of energy. Conservation law of energy, or first law of thermodynamics. First law of chemical thermodynamics. First law of chemical thermodynamics. And it states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another form. It states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another form. And mathematically, U is equal to Q plus W. Mathematically, U is equal to Q plus W, where U is the internal energy, Q is the heat, W is the work. And when we will make small change on both sides, then we will get delta U is equal to Q reversible minus P delta V, because small work done by the system is minus P delta V. So when delta V is 0, then delta U is equal to reversible heat at constant volume. So internal energy change may be defined as the reversible heat at constant volume is known as internal energy. After this, we have to discuss about the enthalpy or heat content. After this, we have to discuss about enthalpy or heat content. Enthalpy or heat content. And it is denoted by H. So, enthalpy or heat content may be defined as the total amount of energy of a body which can be changed into heat, that is known as enthalpy or heat content. The total amount of energy of a body which can be changed into heat, that is known as enthalpy or heat content. And mathematically, H is equal to U plus PV. H is equal to U plus PV, where H is the enthalpy, U is the internal energy, P is the pressure, and V is the volume. And pressure into volume is the work, that is the mechanical work we can say. So H is equal to U plus PV, where H is the enthalpy, U is internal energy, P is pressure, and V is the volume. Now this is equation first. But according to definition, we know U is equal to Q plus W, or you can say that Q. Now, putting these values in equation first, we will get H is equal to Q plus W plus PV. This is equation third. Making small change on both sides, we will get delta H is equal to Q reversible minus P delta V plus P delta V plus V delta P. This is equation 4. P delta V is cancelled with P delta V. So we will get delta H is equal to Q reversible plus V delta P. This is equation 5th. And when delta P is 0, then we will get delta H is equal to reversible heat at constant pressure. So enthalpy change may be defined as reversible heat at constant pressure. The reversible heat at constant volume is known as internal energy change, while the reversible heat at constant pressure is known as enthalpy change. Next topic is very important one, and that is the relationship between delta H and delta U, or you can say that relationship between reversible heat at constant pressure and reversible heat at constant volume. And that relation can be derived by using definition of enthalpy. We know H is equal to U plus PV. H is equal to U plus PV. This equation first, at constant temperature and pressure, initial state will be H1 is equal to U1 plus PV1. This equation second. Similarly, at constant temperature and pressure, final state will be H2 is equal to U2 plus PV2. This equation third. Now applying third minus second, we will get delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. This equation 4. This is the relation. Delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Delta H is the enthalpy change. Delta U is the internal energy change. P is pressure and delta V is the change in volume. Now we can simplify it by using ideal gas equation. We know according to ideal gas equation, PV is equal to nRT. This equation 5th. At initial state it will be PV1 is equal to number of moles of reactants, RT, gaseous mole we have to take. Similarly, at final state, it will be PV2 is equal to number of moles of product into RT. This is 7th. Now applying 7th minus 6th, we will get P delta V is equal to number of moles of product minus number of moles of reactant into RT, and that should be delta Ng RT. This equation 8. Putting these values in equation 4th, we will get delta H is equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT. This equation 9. Or in terms of heat change, we can write it reversible heat at constant pressure is equal to reversible heat at constant volume plus delta Ng RT. And this is a very important derivation, or there might be numericals on this in your objective as well as subjective exam. I am repeating it, how to derive the relationship between reversible heat at constant pressure and reversible heat at constant volume. To derive it, first of all, we have to take the relation H is equal to U plus PV, where H is enthalpy, U is internal energy, P is pressure, V is the volume. At constant temperature and pressure, initial state will be H1 is equal to U1 PV1, second equation. Similarly, final state H2 is equal to U2 plus PV2, third. Now applying third minus second, we will get delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V, fourth. And P delta V can be found out by use of ideal gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. So PV1 is equal to nRT. nR means number of gas mole of reactant. Final state PV2 बराबर number of moles of NPRT, where NP is the number of moles of product in gaseous state. So applying 7th minus 6th P delta V is equal to delta NGRT. Putting this value here, we will get delta H is equal to delta U plus delta NGRT. Or you can say that reversible heat at constant pressure is equal to reversible heat at constant volume plus delta NGRT. After this, we have to do the numerical on this. It is a very important topic. And the first question is, what is the enthalpy change? What is the enthalpy change for combustion of methane? Enthalpy change for combustion of methane at 27 degrees centigrade, given that the heat change in a bomb calorimeter, heat change in a bomb calorimeter is minus 893 kilojoule per mole. First of all, we have to know what is bomb calorimeter. Bomb calorimeter means the device in which volume remains constant. Hence, we can say that in this device, the heat change measured will be equal to internal energy change. So, here we can apply the, first of all, we have to write down the combustion equation of methane. Methane will be in gaseous state plus 2 moles of oxygen that will be in gaseous state gives CO2 in gaseous state plus 2H2O in liquid state. 2H2O in liquid state. Now, we have to apply the formula delta H is equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT. Delta U is given minus 893 kilojoule plus delta Ng will be product moles 1 minus reactant mole 3, because we have to take the gaseous moles, into R will be in joule 8.314 joule per mole per Kelvin, and temperature will be 300 over 1000, because we have to convert it in kilojoule. So it will be minus 893 plus, minus, it will be 2 into 8.314 into 300 over 1000. On cancelling, we will get minus 893 minus 0.6 into 8.314. So that will be minus 893 minus 4, 8, 18, 49, 4.9884. On addition, we will get minus 897.9884 kilojoule per mole. I hope you understand this numerical. On basis of this, you can do any numerical. Next one I am taking. What is the internal energy change for combustion of ethene? Internal energy change for combustion of ethene at 27 degrees centigrade. Internal energy change for combustion of ethene, given that the enthalpy change is minus 786.7 kilojoule per mole. So first of all, we have to write down the equation of combustion of ethene. For ethene, formula will be C2H4 in gaseous state plus O2 gas. Then we will get 2 moles of CO2 gas plus 2H2O in liquid phase. So here it will be 3. Now we can apply the formula delta H is equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT. In this case, delta H is given minus 786.7. Delta U we need to find, plus delta Ng will be 2 minus 4, R will be 8.314, and T will be 300 in Kelvin upon 1000. So it comes out to be delta U is equal to minus 786.7 minus 4.9884, and on subtracting we will get 6, 1, then 1, then it will be 7, 5, sorry, it will be 1, 8, 1, minus 781.7116 kilojoule per mole. On this basis, we can find out the numerical on this topic. And the next topic we are going to discuss, that is also very important one, and that is the heat capacity, specific heat. Heat capacity and specific heat. First of all, we have to know what is heat capacity. Heat capacity may be defined as the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a body through 1 degree centigrade. Amount of heat required to raise the temperature of a body through 1 degree centigrade, that is known as heat capacity, and mathematically heat will be equal to m into C into delta T, m into C into delta T, where Q is the heat capacity, m is the mass of the substance, C is the specific heat, and delta T is the change in the temperature. Now we have to discuss about specific heat. So specific heat may be defined as amount of heat required to raise temperature of 1 gram of a body through 1 degree centigrade. Amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of a body through 1 degree centigrade, that is known as specific heat, and it is denoted by C. So it will be Q reversible over T, hence it can be of two types. CV, it means reversible heat at constant volume, over T, so it will be delta U over delta T at constant volume. Similarly, CP, that will be reversible heat at constant pressure over delta T, so that will be delta H over delta T at constant pressure. So CV may be defined as internal energy change with respect to change of temperature at constant volume, that is known as CV, while CP may be defined as change of enthalpy with respect to change of temperature at constant pressure, and when it is for mole, then it will be molar specific heat and molar at constant volume and molar specific heat at constant pressure. Now we have to derive the relationship between these two, CP and CV. These are related with this formula, Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Cp minus Cv is equal to R. And this can be derived by using definition of enthalpy. We know H is equal to U plus PV. This is equation first. But PV can be written as nRT, U plus nRT, and for 1 mole it will be RT. U plus RT, this is equation second. Now differentiating this equation with respect to temperature, keeping pressure and volume constant, we will get delta H over delta T at constant pressure is equal to delta U over delta T at constant volume is equal to R plus R. This equation third. Hence, we will get Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Cp is the specific heat at constant pressure, Cv is the specific heat at constant volume, and R is universal gas constant. And this ratio of Cp by Cv, that is known as Poisson's ratio. Cp by Cv is known as Poisson's ratio, and with the help of it we can predict the atomicity of a gas. If its value is 1.66, then it will be monatomic gas. 1.4, then it will be a diatomic gas, and 1.28, then it will be a triatomic gas for linear gases. For angular gases, we will later on discuss about this. Till then, thank you. Stay connected. Tomorrow we will discuss about the types of enthalpies and their numerical. Thank you.